This is our main water supply coming in, a domestic main water supply, which comes in off of the sprinkler supply, which is fed by this 6-inch main. This valve, tag number 113, will close the main water supply to the building. It comes down here through a water meter, which registers the amount of water being used in the building, and comes up and comes around through a bypass valve. If there is any issues with the water meter, you shut off these two valves, one on either side of the meter, and you can remove it and then open up this valve here. It's closed, it's always closed, and that again has a valve tag, and it's valve tag number 115. From that point, it goes through the meter up, and it goes through a double check valve assembly, which prevents any contaminants going back into the main drinking water system outside. This valve should be tested at least once a year by a professional backflow preventer tester. It comes through here, up. Again, there's another valve here which comes into a strainer, a Y strainer, which collects any sediment that might be in the system out from outside, and then goes through a PRV, which is a pressure reducing valve. That reduces the main water supply, which is generally around 100, 120, can get that high, down to a more workable pressure, which is around 55 to 60 pounds. This is a bypass for the main water supply. Now the reason we got these shutoff valves on there, again, if there are any issues, you can turn them off, isolate that, just that one piece, and bypass it via this bypass, which again is tagged 118, and normally they're off. You never turn them on unless you need to do a bypass. Then goes on into the building and carries on up and here. Again, we've put another shutoff valve, so basically you've got two main valves that will shut the system down. On the high pressure side, there's a gauge here. At this point it reads close to 90 pounds. That's during the day because there's a lot of people using water throughout this city. But at night it can creep up to 110. And on the other end is the low pressure side, which is reading just about 50 pounds at this point. There's another Y strain in there with a garden hose attachment to it. So if anything needs to be shut down and you need to drain it, you just attach a garden hose to that and run it into the drain. That will release the pressure and any water that might be in the system. And that's the pressure reducing station. This water supply is the main water supply for the boiler makeup water, which feeds water into the boiler system to help keep the pressure to where it should be. It comes out off the domestic water mains. This is the shutoff valve for the cold water supply feed to the boilers. It runs up, comes along, drops down, goes through here, and goes through this reduced pressure backflow preventer. Again, this should be tested at least once a year to stop any contaminants going back into the domestic water system. Again, it can be isolated either side so it can be removed and tested. This supply goes down and goes through to the mechanical. This is a Navion. It's a tankless water heater, instantaneous. So when water is demanded, the unit will fire up, heat the water. As long as the water is running, you'll get hot water. The minute you turn the water off, the Navion unit will stop running. Cold water supply comes down through here and into the unit. It exits the unit via this mixing valve. This valve here is a pressure relief valve. Should there be any excess pressure, it will discharge, go into the drain. That drain then goes into the sanitary system. Once you've turned the unit off and you need to drain it down, you take these caps off, like so, and put your garden hose attachment on there and drain it down through a floor drain, which is to my right. The same with the cold supply. It has a cold water drain off. Make sure the water's off, just undo that nut and attach your garden hose to it. Make sure that these valves are turned off before taking these caps off. They should be in this horizontal position. It comes down, up, and this is the hot water supply to the building. There is a shut-off valve located just above his elbow with a valve tag number on it, 121, which will shut the domestic hot water completely off. There's also a shut-off valve on the cold water supply. Right here we have a hot water recirculating pump. It has a recirculating system that goes right up to the 3rd floor, to the far west end of the building, up to the kitchen area, and then comes back down and back into the cold water supply of the tankless water heater. This pump is a wet rotor pump. It doesn't need any maintenance, so it can be run continuously without any maintenance. But I believe it's controlled with a circulation switch. If there is any issues, turn the switch down, it will turn the pump off. Each side of the recirculation pump is another 2 more shut-off valves. If there is a problem with the shut-off with the pump, you can turn the valves off and remove the pump by undoing these 2 flanges. The vent for the Navion unit runs up through the main floor and out through the roof above the elder's kitchen. This unit is a control module. It will increase or decrease the temperature of the water. Right now it's at 140 degrees. The water will rise to that temperature and shut off. There are also functions on this. Press the function button and scroll up or down for different functions. You'll have to refer to the manual to find out what functions you might need. Okay, this basin faucet is operated by a motion. Once a hand goes in front of it, the water will run for a short period of time. If you need more water, you just got to keep your hands in front to operate it. Underneath the vanity we have 2 shut-off valves which shut both hot and the cold off. On the hot water supply is a mixing valve which mixes the temperature of the water, so you can adjust the temperature, which should be set around 104 because of possibility of scalding. Okay, the valve is operated with a solenoid valve that is connected to the infrared sensor on the basin faucet, and it is hot wired. It's not, no batteries required. This water closet is a dual flush system. The button to your left is for water waste and the button to the right is for solid waste. In order to remove the lid of this tank, you have to pry up this flange here, and there's a screw in the middle which will disconnect from the catch that's inside the tank. The main shut-off valve for this toilet is down there. Above my head is the main 4-inch sewer line which services the 1st, 2nd and 3rd floor washrooms, kitchens. It comes down through the 3 floors into the basement and exits the building on the north end and out and ties into the main sewer system outside. Okay, unlike the main sewer system that serves the 1st, 2nd and 3rd floor, all the plumbing in the basement goes out through the west end of the building and travels into a sump, and from that sump it gets pumped up to the main sewer line outside to drain. There is an alarm system inside the building. Should the pumps not work, that alarm will sound off to get people aware that there's an issue with the sanitary pumps. The valve tag schedule is located on the west wall in the mechanical room in the basement. This is for the plumbing domestic water system for the Stolo building. All valves are numbered. The numbers come down here, and each number represents a shut-off valve. The number will then reflect what the valve does.